what we have here today, this window of opportunity where you have the two of us sitting in the ultimate leadership roles with our respective entities. It's a great opportunity, we think, to look forward and bring more minorities or pave the way or provide a way to bring more minorities into leadership positions in our industry, not jobs, but leadership positions in the industry. So we think there's great opportunity for that. That's really the direction I see things going with the issue of diversity from this point, and I think it would be good for the industry. Having more diverse leadership would bring great perspective and skills to the industry to be used, and I think it's all a part of a growing and improving industry overall. Well, one thing that's certain is we're not where we need to be. There's a lot yet to do. We've come a long way. There's a lot left to do. But I can say the feeling today and the environment today is much different from, I remember my first industry conference in 90 or 91 and having the feeling of being so alone out there with really not many or any folks that look like me around, and we've progressed significantly beyond that time and that type lack of diversity and participation in the industry. But a long way to go.
I think that there has been significant improvement. Evidence is obvious. Both he and I are chairs of what I believe the most prestigious organizations in the aviation industry. But like him, I do believe that there's still a lot of work to do. I remember that feeling of being alone. When I reflect back on the first conference I attended back in late 80s, early 90s, I remember looking around the room and not seeing many people of color or many women. So if I thought about it, I could probably count the people, because I probably recall their names, who were in attendance on one hand. And if I thought really hard, maybe two, but it was certainly not that many people of color or women attending conferences during that time. That has changed significantly. I mean, there are more people of color and women attending the meetings, but as Kevin indicated, we need to see the change in leadership. So I think it's a great opportunity for both he and I to be role models for others, to see that if you involve yourself, if you push yourself, if you are persistent enough in your pursuit of excellence, then the opportunities present themselves. What happens is this magic thing. Some people call it luck, right? But it's really the crossroads of where preparation and opportunity meet. He and I both were well prepared for the positions. We just needed the opportunity. And so what he and I are intending to do is ensure that we're helping others prepare themselves so that when opportunities are presented, this magic thing called luck occurs.
There's a great opportunity going forward to develop a program that works to ensure that there's more minorities eventually in leadership positions in the industry, and we'll be working towards, and we are developing a program that will do just that. And it's a great need in the industry. And again, as I stated earlier, I think it's all a part of growth in the industry. It's all a part of improving the industry, and we're much better off down the road with the perspective and skills that diverse leadership brings.
You know, considering the transition and the diversity of the workforce that needs to be considered is a challenge. And the opportunity for us is that we're here to help usher them into the workforce. We need to capitalize on the knowledge that's present today. Kevin is not going to be there forever. I'm not going to be there forever, but I am available, and he's available to help those who want to be in leadership positions. So, I mean, that's, I think, the opportunity for us that we can address the challenge with.
Right. I'm a longtime veteran of the industry, and I'll tell you, I was always a person that knew exactly what he wanted to do and where he was going. So while I was in school, I was definitely preparing myself to be an executive in the oil and gas industry. And Eastern Airlines came on campus during a career day. I was convinced to interview with them, and turns out I was the only kid on campus they hired. And once I was in for a couple years, as you know, Perry, once you're in the industry for a while, you're in. It's in your blood, you're locked in. Also, I've always engaged with our industry associations along the way. This is my second go-round as a board member of ACI-NA and PRC member at AAAE. Did it for a while in the early 2000s until I went to consulting and had to leave the boards. So my second go-round here, while I was a consultant, I served on ACC's board, and I also did a term as chair of ACI-NA's World Business Partner Associates Board. And I was one of the original members of the ACRP program oversight committee.
Similar to Kevin, I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to do when I grew up. In fact, I knew so much what I wanted to do when I was an undergraduate in college. I was walking through the School of Technology trying to figure out what classes I was going to take, and a lady who had just started the aviation program at Texas Southern University stopped me and asked me, hey, what do you want to do when you finish from school? I didn't answer fast enough. She snatched my registration form and filled out aviation classes. Hence, I wound up graduating with a degree in aviation management. I remember, and Kevin, you might remember this, I encountered a problem that I just couldn't solve on my own. I was still young in the industry, and I asked, somebody connected me with Kevin Dolliole, and I asked him, hey, man, how do you deal with this? And he was very instrumental in helping direct me in terms of how to solve a problem I just really didn't have the experience to solve at the time. Do you remember that?
I do, definitely.
So that was a wonderful encounter with a man who had been in the industry for a while and willing to offer guidance to someone who had just recently entered the industry. So.
Be a person of your word, be reliable, always willing to learn and continue growing, especially in this industry. The minute you stop and think you know it all, the industry will blow right by you. Keep growing, keep learning, always willing to do more, always take on more. Be politically astute, but never play in politics, never a politician. And for minority youth, I give an extra, and that is never forget who you are, but don't get caught up in it. Don't get hung up in it. Don't obsess in it. And what I mean by that is, as we've grown in the industry, Perry and I both, in our roles, we've had to be a little better. And so you need to be. Don't let that make you angry. Just be better.
Another thing that's unfortunate is that we live in a world of biases where people look at you and think that you are inferior, or that what university or college you graduated from makes you inferior or you can't perform as well. So I would say that it is really important that you work hard. That you really can't take shortcuts, particularly if you are a person of color or a woman, because you already enter into the workforce with a sense of having to earn power, right? So you really have to really think about if you take a shortcut, it not only impacts you, it could potentially impact a person that looks like you later on, right? So it's really, I don't think I could emphasize that point enough. It's just not about you. It's never been about me or Kevin. We always think about, if I make this decision, how is it going to impact the next person behind me?